Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some really interesting material you sent over. And I want you to think back for a second. Maybe it was when you were a kid, maybe last week even. A time you were just completely 100% sure about something. And then bam, reality checks in. You realize, oh, wow, I was totally wrong. We've all been there, right? Well, today we're diving into exactly that kind of experience. We're looking at it through the lens of, a concept called hubris. We've got some sources that I think shed light on this in really surprising and honestly pretty relatable ways. We want to understand its impact.
That's right. And, the main source we're looking at defines hubris pretty clearly. It says it's a formal and literary word that refers to a great or foolish amount of pride or confidence. So our mission today really is to unpack that. How does this kind of pride, this hubris, actually show up? Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes really subtle. How does it affect how we interact with the world, with other people? And maybe most importantly, what can we actually learn from spotting it?
Exactly. And to help us do that, we're digging into some great stuff from excerpts from Lessons from Childhood Hubris. It's this really interesting mix of like a super personal story, but with these bigger universal takeaways. So let's get into this main source.
Okay, so the heart of it really starts with this very vivid personal story. The source talks about a child, right, growing up somewhere pretty rural where maybe showering every single day wasn't the standard thing. And this kid just really didn't like showering. Why? Simple reason, actually. It was cold getting in, cold getting out, just uncomfortable. And the kid's thinking, their internal logic, is fascinating. It's quoted as, "I figure as long as it doesn't bother me and no one else talks about it, the situation will go away." Seems kind of straightforward, maybe. But that assumption tells us a lot, doesn't it? Oh, absolutely. Because, well, spoiler alert, it didn't go away. Not even close. The source says pretty directly, it only increased the gossip level and the world secretly avoided me like a plague.
Mm.
And here's a really key detail, I think. People rarely say anything about my stink level, but I can tell by other people's behavior that I was a problem no one wanted to talk to about.
Wow. So it's not like people were confronting the kid.
No, exactly. It's the avoidance, the secret part. That highlights something really crucial about hubris. It often makes us blind, or maybe just deaf, to those quieter signals, the unspoken stuff that's happening all around us. And this leads to what, for me, is one of the most striking lines in the source. It says, "It was really strange that even though I was aware of it, it didn't personally bother me."
Right. Aware, but not bothered.
Yes, think about that. That tells you so much about this child's sense of self at the time. The source calls it a willingness to forego the rhythm of the universe just so I can do what's most comfortable to me.
Forgo the rhythm of the universe.
Yeah.
That's quite a phrase.
It is. It's basically prioritizing your own comfort, your own bubble, over everything else, over the social reality, over how things kind of naturally work between people.
That is such a powerful point. Putting personal comfort first, even when you sort of know it's causing ripples, causing people to avoid you, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do we maybe do that ourselves? Can you think of a time in your own life, maybe you were just so set on how you felt or what you believed that you kind of tuned out what was actually happening around you, or maybe ignored those subtle social cues people were sending. We all have those blind spots, I think. I know I've definitely held on to an idea too hard sometimes and only later realized, oh, wait, people were trying to tell me something, just maybe not with words. So, okay, let's move forward a bit because the story doesn't end there. The source talks about a shift years later. The adult looking back on this, they had this big realization. They said, this is a battle I should fight against the universe.
Yeah, that's a powerful shift. And out of that comes this deeper understanding. It wasn't just about getting cold anymore. The lesson learned, as the source puts it, was only respect to hygiene alone, that should be enough push to shower like everyone else. Pretty basic, right?
Seems obvious in hindsight.
Exactly, but then it goes deeper. It connects to like the golden rule. I should have treated everyone the way I want to be treated. I wouldn't want to be around other people who deliberately chooses to not shower for days either. My bad.
My bad. That's the
What?
key moment.
Totally. It's the moment of real self-awareness, right? It's not just about hygiene. It's recognizing your choices have an impact, your comfort, your stubbornness, whatever it is.
Right.
It affects others. And that, my bad, is like, oh, the hubris bubble finally popping.
Yeah. Taking responsibility.
And if we pull back to the bigger picture again, the source gives us this quote of the day, which fits perfectly. Even the tallest tree bows when the storm is strong enough. So in this story, the storm, it wasn't rain and wind, obviously. It was that social pressure, right? The gossip, the avoidance, that rhythm of the universe the kid was trying to ignore.
So the storm is the social consequence.
Precisely. And the quote suggests that, eventually reality pushes back. No matter how proud or stubborn you are, some things, some fundamental truths or social realities, you just can't fight forever. You eventually have to bow to adapt.
That image of the tree bowing,
Yeah.
it really lands that idea of subtle pressure forcing a change, like that unspoken gossip finally getting through. And to make it even clearer, the source mentions this image description, which I thought was great. It's a cartoon cake shaped like a cinder block with a fork bent from trying to cut it.
Ah, yeah, that's vivid.
Right. So think about it. The hubris, the stubborn pride.
Yeah.
It's like insisting you can cut that cinder block cake. You can try all you want, be super confident, but you're up against, well, a cinder block. You're just going to bend the fork.
It's few.
Exactly. It's a failed effort because the pride made you completely underestimate the reality of this situation.
Yeah.
You underestimated the cinder blockness of the cake or the storm of social reality.
That's a fantastic analogy for it. The bent fork is the consequence of ignoring reality.
So thinking about all this,
Mm-hmm.
what does it mean for you? Listening right now, where are your cinder block cakes? Those things you're maybe pushing against, those realities or social rules you might be resisting. Maybe out of conviction, maybe just for comfort. What are those unseen storms, the subtle feedback, the unspoken things that might be nudging you, trying to get you to, well, to bow a little?
To adjust. Yeah, it's a good reflection point. So just to kind of wrap up the key takeaways from this deep dive, we've seen hubris isn't always like loud arrogance. Often it's this foolish overconfidence. It can make us miss what's right in front of us, especially the nonverbal stuff, the social cues. And this story, this personal story, really shows how that can play out in everyday life, leading to friction, maybe isolation. And it really hammers home how important self-awareness is, It's
Yeah.
a bit of humility, maybe, for navigating those unspoken social rules.
Absolutely. And it's a great reminder, I think, that sometimes the most valuable lessons, they come from looking back at our own bad moments or mistakes, especially stuff from when we were younger. And that feedback from the world, even if it's just people acting weird or avoiding you, that's data.
It really is
Not-
valuable data.
The source really highlights that. It's like the universe sending you a memo, even if it's a silent one. So as you go about your day, here's something to maybe mull over, a final thought for you. What are some of those rhythms of the universe, those social norms, those basic realities that maybe you're kind of foregoing right now, perhaps without even realizing it? And could there be any silent gossip or secret avoidance happening around you? Any bent forks, maybe? That might be a sign it's time to take another look.